Hey, Marcel here. Welcome. Today we want to talk about lore. And but before we start this, let me give you a quick overview about what we did last time and the current state. A little bit of the current state, so to say. So let's get into it. Here you can see again our mirror board. And last time we talked about rules. And that's we don't want to go too deep into roots today. We want to talk about lore, the lore of the world. And before that, you want to give a short state of the game. So, as I mentioned already on the website and stuff like this, we plan to have 300 different cards in the first season, and currently we already have 93. So yeah, that's already some, but some of them are missing art. So you see that here, that some of them are just white right now. So, but we already have 17. That's here on the left side. It's not every card with art is here, but some of them. So let's start with the lore. And for that, I just pasted in here the card of the world, and or better said, it's not the whole world, it's the continent called Centra. And that's the thing. It's the main continent in this world. It's the central piece, so to say. And that's the continent. And what is so special on this? So there are some cities on it. Yeah, you can see that. And it's split into two. Currently, right now, there are two empires that are on this continent, and they have some conflicts, right? And for this, you can see this black line here. That's something like where the empires are divided. So it's the border of the empires. And it's going one time straight through the continent. And let's start with the southern one. So it's called the Emperor Imperium. So it's led by a family. So the other empire is also led by a family. And it's the Zhou dynasty. So it's the family leading the Zhou dynasty are the family called Zhou. And the Emperor Imperium is led by the Emperor family. And it's some kind of a family system, right? So on the top we have the Empire's family, the leading family. But below that there are other families that have their own smaller main city. So that's are the other main cities you can see here on the account, like Fury, Drury, Picaro, Freezer, Cyril. That are all cities, and they are the seat of different families. And Imperia, for example, is the capital of the Emperor Imperium, and yeah, it's the capital. Yeah, and the other cities are the seats of family members and families. What makes that so special? Because it's you can't control a single huge empire from one city. You have to have some major cities all over it, and they are the seats for territories. So yeah, like there are regions, and they're under control for like a family. So for Triri, for example, it's the capital, it's the city of the Rand family. The Rand family is one of the three starter decks we have, and they have, for example, like this region here. So on this map, it's not shown what region and how big the regions are. but around this amount of the country is led by that family. So what does that mean? The families have a amount of power over the region. So that has something to do with the magic system in the world. So the thing for the magic system is that not every person is born with magic, but they are made to be magic users. So, for example, every human born in this world is a normal human being with normal abilities of a human and normal red blood. So blood is important in the world, right? I think we talked already about this. So the magic is based on blood magic, and you have to use your own blood to cast spells. So if you don't can cast any spells, your blood is just blood. But how are you made a magician in this way? It's when you're a kid and you came into a specific age of like 13, 14 years, you will have to go into the city nearest the main city of your region. Now you will be under some secret process of called transfusion, where you are connected to some holy artifact, which allows you, which modifies your blood, so to say, so that you can start to cast spells. And that's it's a thing that is successful in a lot of cases, like 90% of the cases. And but one thing is that not every magic user has the full abilities. For example, let's go to Fury. That's the region for the younger family, and they can cast fire spells. So like they are special in using fire as magic. So if you have not a lot of magic, you might only can cast a small flame and like a lighter or something. And if you are more lucky in getting your ability, you can cast fireballs, firewalls, fire everywhere, and don't need that long amount of blood. So the thing is, the amount you can cast is limited by the amount of blood, right? Yeah. So, and there's some metaphysical in this world that does not really allow to use the blood of other people to cast spells. But for example, let's say you have a close family member, let's say a brother. You could take 1 cup of his blood, 1 cup that will have around half the power of 1 cup of your own blood. And if you are going farther away in the family tree, you need more blood to have the same effect, right? And for people that are really far away from your lineage, you need a really, really huge amount of blood to support your spells. So that's something not really common in the world. So yeah. Another thing that is common in the world is that there's some secret. I don't want to tell you right now, so you have to. It will come when the story prolongs. Far away. And that's it. There are some techniques in the world to store magic energy, right? So it's not really the blood that is stored, it's something that is made out of the magic. So for example, I posted the days before the Ice Saber card on Facebook, Instagram, and whatever. And it's just a saber made out of ice, right? You could think of. But actually, it's made out of blood. And specifically, it's a weapon aligned to the Alberon family. It's some of their special weapons. So if you have the blue blood of an Alberon magic user, you can easily cast this weapon. So, but that, if you cast the weapon every time anew, it needs a lot of amount of blood, right? So multiple of costing costing of blood. So you might only be able to cast that one Ice Saber, and you are out of your on your limit already. So what to do? So there are some kind of priests in that world that have some special knowledge about this this kind of way to save the Ice Saber, and that's by right. It's the thing you all know already. It's they have cards. They can create some special cards, and you can store the Ice Saber in this card. So it doesn't need a lot of blood to get something out of a card, but storing that's the big secret in this. And so to say, it's easier for you if you cast it Ice Saber once, store it into a card, and pull it out whenever you need it. Because pulling out this card or this saber out of the card is much more cost efficient. For example, it's also possible to store physical things into the cards. So, for example, you could hire a smith to create some caltrops, and the caltrops could be placed into the card so that you can use them later. So it's some kind of magical storage. And but you might ask me now, what about creatures? How that does came into the game. So creatures are special in that way that it can be some limited resource, right? Because to create such a creature card, you have to get some of the blood of such a creature. And how do you get the blood? Well, you can ask one person to give you a little bit of their blood. Not everyone likes that. That's something, not done so often. And the other way could be if there's a dead person, you could store some of, you get any of the blood and use that to create a card. Or many cards, because you only need one drop of the blood of the person to create a card. So if you have a lot of drops, so to say, you can create a lot of cards. So, but dead cards are not the person, right? They are just like shadows of the person. And they have some of the abilities of the person they are made of. But there's always, if a person dies, there's often, really often, the thing that one of the cards is special. It's a card, when you can cast that card, you can actually talk to the person. So it's some kind of the spiritual energy of the person isn't the card. So it's normal for the major families in the world to collect the cards of their family members that are that special, because it's normal for them to ask them for any meaningful information, or how they should do things and what they will do in such a situation. And they are really uh, yeah, really important for a family. And that's, yeah. So more about the card. So we have here like 10 different families, with the Emperor family as the leading family in the continent, and 9 subordinates for that. So one is with the other part of the continent. One is with the Dror dynasty. What is with them, right? They are, both empires are in a state of war that is not like an active war. It's more like we could compare it in our world with a kind of Cold War. So here on the coast, there are a lot of castles and sieged cities and things like that. But there are also some bridges, and these on the real near to these bridges, so like some borders, and they are watching each other, so to say, and they are not active. They want to make sure that no one of the other country comes into this country, right? So no one wants to really talk with each other. So how do I mean that? So they are stale in this, but of course there are some ways to the different empires that they want to have actually more. Of course, they are empires. They want more land, more influence, more anything, and they want the others to be weaker than them. But here they are in a stalemate. And what does that mean? When you live in one of the cities, or one in a small village or anywhere, you will see that there are always people arguing that the others are the evil persons, and if you see one, you have to report them and stuff like this. And to make sure that you report one, there are, and if you're not in line with the normal policies in the world or in that empire, there are rewards for people to say, hey, here, that other person, hey, they look fishy. They think, I think they might have some connections to the Drows, and so yeah, there are some kind of secret police that's taking the person. Well, that person gets a special treatment, and maybe they will say, "Oh yeah, I'm a spy." Yeah, and the normal implication for that is that he will die, of course. So, and because the whole nation is in a stalemate, and it can anytime be soon, anytime it can happen that it's not stalemate anymore. So for that, every country has some policies to make sure that the soldiers in the world are always top of the notch, so to say. So that's why they have some policies that it's allowed to fight each other. That the families can fight each other, and the reward is that they get more influence in the capital. So that means that it's normal that the Drearys and the Fury, so younger and grand families, are in a kind of conflict, but it often happens that two families connect each other so that you can fight against the third family, and that's in the same empire, right? And that's something that happens a lot of time. So there are some things I haven't told you yet about the magic system, but most of the people in the world don't know this. So I don't want to share it right now with you, but later when we have talked more about the world and in different countries and different families, got deeper into this. And so, and what we plan to do is that in our first season, we will have a closer look on the Imperium. So a lot of the cards will be out of that Imperium. I want to show you in this with the cards how this world is. Why they are fighting, what kind of conflicts are internal into Imperium, and what are the participants of such a war. So are there soldiers? Are there knights, cavalry, archers, whatever? So our first part will be mainly on the army structure of the southern part. And we will extend it into more seasons and stuff. We will go into details and more into conflicts and yeah. So that's where we want to go with the card game. But for example, I also have already ideas for like an RPG in the world, right? And for that I thought, yeah, how is the world? What is some special kinds of treatments? So for example, with the cards existing in the world, that allows us to have like an RPG where you can reuse the cards. Or I also want to do with some friends in the future, like a pen and paper session where we play characters in the world. And also there will be the cards come into the game, so to say, and they will represent abilities of the characters they are playing and stuff like this. So it's all kind of connected with each other. And that's what we want to do. So we want to connect things. We want to have a world and we want to show you the world and that you have some insights into the world and maybe even that you can be a part in the political world and can help us decide where the world is going and what will happen in the world. What will happen next? Will the stalemate ever end? Will it not? What will happen with the conflict? How will it go on? Will there be a winning party? We don't know it yet. Also, what's with the past, right? There are some elements in the past of the continent that's not really written down. So how are the cards made that store the magic energy? Can store magic energy? Why? How? And stuff. That are questions that are not answered for normal people. And only specific people in the world know about such secrets. So, yeah. So for the families, can I tell you more about the magic system? It's not exclusive, so to say. So the family in Frieza is called Alberon. So it's the Alberon family. They are casting ice magic. I already mentioned that the Ice Saber, for example, is something that they can use, specifically efficient. And the thing is, also the younger family, on Fury, can cast an Ice Saber, but they need a lot more of their blood to cast such a spell. So they have their own card made of their own weapons that are specific to them, like a fire sword, right? A little bit like that. But for example, if there are an Alberon that has stored an Ice Saber in a card, and you would give it to a younger soldier, he could use that, and so you have a fire casting soldier with an Ice Saber, right? And that's how things work. So there are some efficiency problems in the world. Like, oh yeah, you are specific in casting ice, so you are good in this, so you concentrate on that effects. But it's also cool that others can use them, but they are not really often doing it. So yeah, every family has some special kind of abilities and special kind of treatments. So let's talk about the starter decks, right? Already they are finished, so to say. The art isn't finished yet for all the cards, but the cards that will be in the decks are already done. So we base it on 3 families. So it's the Runt family that's living here. It's the younger family living here. The Alberon family living here. So there might be also more starter decks for other families in the future or next seasons. But in the first seasons we have the 3 starter decks. So a green one, a blue one, and a red one, a orange one. Sorry. Younger family's blood is orange, Runt's blood is green, and Alberon's blood is blue. So, and the thing with the magic system is that if you use some kind of magic really, really, really often, it has some influences on your body. And especially it turns your skin in the color of your blood. So, what does that mean? Let's check out a specific card here. The Doma card I want to show you. Right, if you look closely, you can see here his arm, and you see this kind of tattoo-like things. That's because he's someone that used really a lot of the Alberon's magic. So you can see that the blood is turning his skin blue, and some kind of pattern. The pattern is also not something normal for a family. They are different from people to people, so to say. And also we have newly some for the families, like what do we want to look into? Oh yeah, here you can see more on the shoot ability, and there you can see here in the hand, in the veins of the body, you can see the orange blood flowing, and you see that it's turning the fingers orange, and that's something that will stay because they are using an ability really often for that. So most of the time this starts on the limbs, because a lot of magic is cast from the limbs, right? So that means that they will turn into some specific color as the first things. And do we have other examples? Like there are also creatures that can cast spells. So no one knows why, for example, the boxes are like this. They are basically burning creatures. They can spit some orange blood out of your mouth, and they can let you burn to some crispy chicken like you are. And that's how they are. Especially the woks, they are the animal that is on the how's it called, coat of arms of families, of the younger family. It's that animal. So here also you can see, right next to the younger box, that there is the so-called blood reservoir. It's some artifact that stores the different bloods. So you can see here the blood of I think it's a radish, so it could be Ota, I think, yeah. Then the yellow one is Lauen, and the purple one is don't let me. Which one was it? Yeah, there are a lot of families with a lot of different colors, and there are also different abilities, different special abilities for the colors. So yeah, let's see. What else do we have to talk about in the world? Do you have any questions, chat? Doesn't look like all the people are here. So what can we talk about? Policies. Nah. Maybe show you a little bit how much the development already has progressed. I think that's also an interesting thing, because you can already do a lot except playing the game. So you nearly can do everything except playing the game. What you can already do is go on the website, create an account, and log in. So if you are logged into the account on our webpage, Sintra.world, you can access the shop where you already can buy the starter decks. So the starter decks and also a booster package. But be aware, this price is not the final price. It's a little bit more expensive because you could buy the booster, but you will not get access to all the 300 cards. You get access right now to the cards already created. So the 39 cards. So there's a possibility to get the cards of that 93. 39? I did say 39, so that's wrong. 93, I mean, of course. You have access to 93 cards. That's the cards you can right now find in this booster. So that's not something we wanted to do, but I wanted to test the thing, if it's doing the right thing with the boosters and stuff like this. So there is already the booster that you could buy, and you could get cards out of it. But not all of the 300 are available, only 93, as I told you right now. So, but what you can get is the starter decks for the 3 families. And they can already be bought, and they can be claimed, because when you bought them, you have here in the cards is the claim cards. It needs a little bit to load, but there should be any moment. Right there. Here you see that I have already 2 booster packages in my account, so I could claim them. And so claiming them means, so to say, you unpackage them and you get access to the cards. So Or in the future, we want to have the ability that you can send it to a friend, right? So you just give, for example, the email of your friend, and you will get instant access to that booster package. And here below, you can see what I already claimed. So I claimed here already some booster packages because of testing, and also the starter deck of the Rand family. So with that, I can look into all the cards I have already claimed. So you can look into that and see, oh yeah, here are all the cards that I have. And yeah, you can look into this and see that, for example, here, that Alberon Soldier. And in the bottom of that, we already have some bad buttons, like we want you to be able to sell cards to other people in the future. That is currently, the buttons are right now doing nothing. But we want you to be able to sell cards to other people so that you can also give it to another person. So if you have a friend, you want to give him the card, easy. Just give him that card. That's it. And exporting is for like, it's an intermediate button. So if you buy the cards, that you can print them and play with them offline, so to say. And because in the future you want to have also printed cards, but we start only with the digital ones. The game will be also playable in paper form, but not from the beginning. And what we already have, or let's say nearly have, because it's not finished yet and it can change, and it's just something that works, so to say, that we can already create new decks with a name and select decks and edit them, so that we have here like, oh yeah, we have here already a deck with 29 cards and no hero ability, because the rules for creating a deck is that a deck can have 40 to 50 cards plus one hero ability card on top. So because a deck can only have one hero ability card, and because that card is special in the rules, that you can see that in the last video, and it's linked here, I hope. It's the first time I will link something, but for the YouTubers out there, you will see them there. And here you can see already cards that are in the deck, and you can move cards from the deck and stuff like this. And so another rule is that you only can have 3 copies of one card in a deck. But we don't care if it's of super mega ultra raw cards can only be once in the deck. No, they can also be 3 times in the deck. And it's the base card that could be 3 times in the deck. So you could have 3 soldiers, but also you could have 3 times the Kuno-Ranf card. That's the leading card in the starter deck of the Rand family, or the Moss Spears that are also part of the starter deck for the Rand family. Yeah, that's the current state. And what we are doing right now is working on the game server and making that available somehow. Also on the website, of course, because we wanted just a button to say play, and then you can play the game. And you don't have to download an app or anything. You can just say, yeah, I want to play it here or in the bus or somewhere. Easy as this. Just play the game. And you don't have to install things. Maybe you need a bigger screen, but we will see that later, because maybe we need for the mobile users a specific app. So we will see that. So this will be, the app will just be for playing right now, but maybe in the future you also could there edit your deck and do stuff. Yeah, so that's the deck builder. So you can build your deck, and if it's valid, you can also play with the deck. So not yet playing with the deck, but in the future can play with the deck. So one thing I want to add in the near future is doing here a button like print me this deck. So that will give you access to your deck, and it will just generate one PDF file that you can print and play, and ready to go. So you have your deck, and you know it's exactly the deck that you composed here on the website, and just print, cut it, and you can play with your friends and stuff like this. And maybe you want to go in detail for the cards, because one thing we haven't talked about is that small QR code here on the bottom. In the digital cards right now, they are just saying, hey, what's up, so to say. But if you in the future we have printed cards, they will have all different QR codes. And that makes maybe a little bit difficult to find someone that prints us the cards, because even if you have two run soldiers, they are basically the same card. The QR code will be different on the cards. So, and there are one-time codes, and the QR codes are one-time codes, so that you can add them to your digital account. That's the plan, yeah, right? That's just the plan. It's not finished yet, and but it's I think a cool feature that when you have like a booster package, you open that, and a real booster package, of course, yeah, right? You buy it in the shop and stuff, and you open it and get the cards out. You see, oh yeah, that card is cool. I need that card. You scan it, get it to your account. The other card is, I don't need this one. I already have it. You can give it to your friend. He scans the card. He gets it. Right? So that's something that's different. Will be different to other trading card games out there, because we want you to have fun with each other, to play with each other, to share content with each other, so that it's easy for you to care for your buddy. So like if you want to play with someone like in a 2 versus 2 match, and you say, hey buddy, don't you want to have a deck with like supporting environmental stuff? So I have some strategy like this, and I have a lot of creatures and things. And then you find cards, you decide to buy booster packages, but yeah, this card I don't need this, but it would be great in your deck, buddy. So it should be possible to send him this card. There are other trading card games. I don't know even one that could be where this could be allowed. Right? I think that's something that will make us unique in this field. And if not, it's still a great feature, right? And we can also have ideas for other features, like yeah. So what will happen? The next steps. In the next steps, we work on the client and on the server. Right now, the server can already do the basic stuffs, like playing a creature, getting life points, attacking, blocking, all this kind of ruling defined stuff. But one thing that's hard to implement is how the effects are working on the server. So right now I could show all of you the server, and I think the first edition of an early alpha will be that there are cards that have effects. Or let's say all the cards don't have effects, so that's bad for traps and spell cards. But you can also already play with creatures and test out the basic rules with creatures and think, oh yeah, what if when I play the card for spell card, it should happen that this and this happens. Also would be a cool feature is that we want to allow to have viewers in a game, right? So if you play against an opponent, your buddy could be joining the game and viewing what you are doing. So not just by streaming on Twitch or something like this, just in the game. You can see, oh yeah, your buddy, you are doing great, and yeah. But of course, that could be some influence of cheating, because if you could see the opponents and say, "Hey, he has that card, he just draw that," yeah, do something against that. You need to do this and this, and then he also has spies, so screen cheaters, and so there will be some. So you can't just join people. You can join people that you know, that you're friends with. Something like this I could think about. And what else would be cool features of the game? Yeah. So the basic rules, we had already the basic rules. I think they are really cool, and it makes fun to have things in the world to be in the game, and also things in the game being in the world. So the synergetic effects of lore and game. So because we want to have realistic creatures, but they should be realistic in a way that they could live in such a world. And so the world has to have some definition on it, so that we can define creatures that can live in the world. And other things like humans living in the world, a history, it's something that all could come into the game. That will have influence on the future of the game. And yeah. And the most important part outside of the lore, but part of the game, will be that we want to hear your opinion, that we want you to hear about what do you think about different features in the game, not just saying, oh, it's another trading card game, or no, just saying something like this. We just want to shape a world, and want to share the world, and to also want to work with others on the world. So if you have some cool ideas, join the Discord, write with us there, or yeah. So if you have any questions, you could ask still here in the chat, or in the comments below in the YouTube video, or in the Discord server. So yeah, it would be nice to have you there and hear what you're thinking, and it's something we want to do, is that we don't want to dictate the world, but the world has some dictators, of course. So we want to have you all work with us together, not just we saying, oh yeah, it's like this and this, and when you don't like it, you should say it. You say, hey, we don't like how this card works, just tell us, and we can discuss about things, the chat, and work things out. And because right now the game is heavily under development, and things will change. Card effects may change right now, so that's some kind of stuff that could happen. And yeah, that's the current state of development progress. So it's everything until you have some decks. Right, next step is make you able to play with these decks. So the first thing that will be finished before the Kickstarter is that you can print your decks. Because part of the Kickstarter is to have access to the decks, to the starter decks and the other cards. So if it's only some PDFs, but we want you to be able to play after the rules. We have that here on the somewhere on the rules page. We have the already some written rules for the game. Also, you can watch the video where I'll tell you a little bit about the rules. And yeah, so different phases of the game, for example, and stuff like this. So just join us and join the account, get just the newsletter. You can watch the intro video about the cards and what you want to achieve, some things. And deeper down you will find us, me, my dog, some of my friends, some people you work with, some of the projects we like, because we are working with Kanka. It's a tool we use and we love it, and it's a really nice tool for world building, for example. So it helps us have Centra as a nice continent. So yeah, also some what we plan, what we want to do. I told you already in this video some of the things you want to know and we plan and we want to do and stuff like this. Here you have some small punchlines about what we plan. Then we get here the different creature types, what the different things are meaning, what attack is, what that it's a monster, and right, what family is aligned, and yeah, who is the artist and stuff like this. What's the ability? What does that mean? For example, if this creature here, the Impelisk, is doing some damage, right? In any way, if by blocking or attacking. Maybe I should extend that text. So if you fight with this 10-8 card against the 5-5 card, the 5-5 card is not a 5-5 card, it's a 2-5 card because its attack is reduced by 3. And the Empress returns 3 of its HP, because something in this game is that the HP of a creature will not regain in any way, except there are some rules and some other cards that may allow to regain HP for a creature. And normally you pay with your life points, so to play cards. But we already talked about this in the rules part, right? So that's just some. So spell cards, trap cards. Here you can see the famous Ice Saber we talked about in the beginning of the video, and you see here that it comes out of the veins of the person, and it grows into the form. Because magic works has different components, like you have to think about what you want to achieve with the magic, and you need the energy, and you need the idea and the fantasy to materialize it. So you see here that's aligned to the Alberon family, for example. And the sign for the Alberon family, but also indicates the rarity of the card. So, and here we finally have the hero abilities. As I said already, that's once per deck. and they are special because they have effects that will stay on the battlefield and can be invoked multiple times. So in the future there might be things with regain, positive regain, negative regain. Regain is when your turn starts, you get life points back, or you have to pay additional life points to stay in the game, and stuff like this. Yeah, here's the link to the rule page, and yeah, also different social media where you can follow us, the Discord, the email, or no, Facebook, YouTube, all the different platforms you can find us. And that's where we've finished for today, I think. And if you have any questions, as I already mentioned, you can write anywhere with us and just ask us questions. We want to hear your questions. Specific to lore, specific to cards, if there are cards of effect X, Y, Z, or anything. We want to hear from you. Thanks, and until next week. Bye.